wonderful viewers. It is Thursday, 1400 hours on our weekly program, Talk with Our Artist Show. Like I said earlier on, we are not just going to invite artists in this topic of discussion, but then we will be having managers as well to talk to them about what is happening in the music industry. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, dear.
And how are you doing?
I am doing very fine. I'm very glad to be here.
And welcome to my platform.
Nice. Thank you so much for the invite, something that I appreciate so much. To the music enthusiasts that are watching this program right now, I am Jobz, the baddest manager. Both, if you feel like, to call me baddest of all time, just like how the generational children would call me now. I'm an artist manager, music business consultant, businessman, and activist. Yes.
Activist.
Sure.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
So, Jobz, we have seen you have been making great waves in the industry.
Sure.
So, when it comes to music, what can you tell us in general? What is music?
Nice. Good one. The creative sector of the Gambia is what I ever loved. I've been here for 19 years. Music and music business is what I know, and yeah, these are the two components that I have passion for. Music is a composition of crafts, masterpieces, yes.
Okay.
Composed by artists and producers to inform people or to entertain people. Now, in informing people, yes, sometimes you entertain them along, but again, sometimes you can inform them, right? And also enlighten them about issues, right? It could be burning issues, it could be societal issues, it could be domestic issues, it could be politics, it could be even commercial, that is what music is about. Now, music business, which is another component different with music, is what the managers do. Now, the artists do the music, we do the music business, because whatever that they compose, we are the ones that put it into business.
So how do you do it into business? Kindly break it to us.
Nice, thank you very much. I am trying to dissect the difference, right? Yes. Please bear with me. Let me dissect.
Okay.
Right? I am trying to put in place, right? To set clarity on what we do.
Okay.
In our capacity as managers and music business consultants, right? The music business, which is the most important component, right?
Yeah.
Is where I am going to stress on and emphasize, because that is what we do for income to come.
Okay.
Now, how do we do it? That's what you ask.
Yeah.
We do it by placing the music, right? That is being produced, right, by your artist or by a group of thespians or artists to where they should be placed. For example, whenever ST composes a song or visuals, it is the duty of the management to place it on the different channels. This could be YouTube, TuneCo, iTunes, AudioMac. These are platforms where you could put the compositions of your artists, right, for public benefit or consumption. So that's how we do it. We also do it by exposing, because we have what we call exposition aspect in music business. Exposition aspect. Now, the exposition aspect is the craft of your artist. How far are you taking it, right? Because it shouldn't be within a particular country, but then outside. Like what they are doing within the Gambia, we take them out. In taking them out, you project them. Still on music business, you project them. Let them see what Nyancho has composed, right? Place it at global platforms for people outside the Gambia to see, so that they can be able to contact the services of your artists. Yeah. So we do music business in that fashion. That is one, the exposition reality. Two, the partnership reality, because if you project your artist in a certain way until he or she has a hit song, it's very obvious that bigger companies will definitely come and seek for his or her services, right? That is where endorsement deals come. Endorsement deals, exactly. That is why You have seen some couple of artists being endorsed by construction companies, cellular companies like Africell has been doing.
So when you are doing this, though, that particular company, if a company wants to sign a contract with your artist, do they come to you directly, or they consult the artist himself?
Yeah, here consultation is done in two folds. One, get into the artist directly. Two, get into the manager. That is, if you know that this is the particular manager responsible for the affairs of that particular artist. But here, whenever they get to an artist that has a manager, that artist's duty would be to relate them to the manager so that they can talk on music business. Yeah. So their consultation is based on two folds, but then whatever it is your responsibility as a manager, because your side is where they will definitely end up coming for you to discuss whatever business with them. Yes.
Okay, so for how long have you been into this industry?
For 19 years.
19 years.
Yeah, I've been here for 19 years. And then, yes, I've worked it almost all the major artists in this country. And then in my capacity as a groomer, the bigger names that we see today, we started from them from somewhere, right? And to where they are today. So basically, I have ever been a groomer, a redeemer, right? A transformative force in the Gambia's creative industry.
So who have you been managing previously?
Sure, I first, hooked up with ST a long time. Yes, exactly.
He was your first artist
that I managed. Yes, exactly. We've worked for 16 years. That's a very long time.
16 years?
Yes. And then still we are vibing as brothers, right? And
not that business.
The business aspect we are not.
Well, the relationship is not.
It is there.
The relationship between managing him and then him being your artist,
there is two types of relationship. Gentle lady.
Yeah.
Family relationship and business relationship. Now, Gambia, I always say this, they cannot differentiate between the two. Now, if you have a business relationship with somebody and then that relationship fades over time, it doesn't mean your family or personal relationship with that person fades.
Okay,
do you understand? Yeah.
So talking about the business, you said that relationship between you and SA is not in existence.
Yeah, he has his management.
Okay.
But again, the family vibe that we have today, remember, I still have my capacity as a music business consultant in the Gambia, meaning I could work with ST and any other artist in the Gambia. Yes, because you would seek for that service, right? You would request it for me to come, for us to work by virtue of my capacity as a music business consultant. In fact, that is what I've done for him for gratis. We call it pro bonus or pro bonum. His last launch event, I came all out to be placing content for him. The promotion was rebellious because we want our thespian to be seen. Because anything that is Gambian, I am so obsessed with it. So we have that relationship.
Okay, sure. So going back to business, is there any issue that you had between him so that warrants you to stop the relationship in the music industry between you and him?
Yeah, like I said, any business relationship that you see is time bound, right? And that's why, yes, you would see a particular contracted employee, right, in a particular business for a particular time, right? When I got into Jollof Arts, it was supposed to be 2 years business, isn't it? That's the contract that I signed there. After the 2 years, I went my way. But it doesn't mean I have any issue with so.
Okay.
Right, so this is why I did mention the two different types of relationship with Gambians would jumble up, right? All the time, some they are myopic over realities. They just want to say, okay, I want to be perceptually biased over details. But the fact of the matter is, yes, that business that we had a time bound. And then we reached to a level where we couldn't have any adjustment on the deal that we had. So I had to go, and then he also went. But then it doesn't stop our vibe, our relationship, and our cordial existence as brothers.
Okay.
Sure.
Can you share some testimonials on people that you managed?
Yeah, ST, Nyancho, Miss Jobz, Sambo Suso, right? Under the auspices of Jollof Arts Entertainment, Sambo Suso, Pliers Bad Boy, Mad Snake, Sora G4, MC Danan, Finda, Asli Cham. Yeah, these, you know,
These are
where
the
the
ones.
thespians that I managed, yes, previously. And then I'm getting down to, you know, the artists that I've met and then cordially, in short time, work with. There comes the late John Seka, may his soul rest in peace. We got to Dakar in 2019, and then we were involved in a project called Sedao by John Seka. You know, that was his last album project before his demise. So we got to, yes, exactly. We got to Dakar, and we had this 1 month job relationship based on the contract that he has given to Jollof Arts at the time. So it was a great experience. Yes, to Sidiki Jobate, it was a short time that we worked based on his concert. I think this was in 2017. And then, yeah, Akon, whom I've met in 2017, you know, for, yeah,
you
Akon, yeah.
with Akon.
Akon, yeah. You know, it was a consultative meeting that we had for work to be done. So basically, when he came here, the reason why I still have this in my career accolade is because it was so huge that somebody had to call you to say, Akon is in the country, and then he would like to meet you and your artist. I remember I and ST, you know, we met him together, and then we had a very, very, very meaningful and productive meeting on music business. Yes, so that's something that I will never forget, honestly. Yeah.
Okay. So when it comes to financial issues, how do you manage your finances and budgets?
Yeah, we manage our finances and budget by virtue of a potential management. You know, when they say management, it's not only the jobs. It's not only about a single head. It's about multiple heads being combined together, right?
Okay.
It's very obvious that in any management, there would be an accountant or finance manager. So it is the finance manager's duty to manage the finances of the artist in consultation with the GM, right? Because you, exactly, because you being the leader of the team, you project everybody, right, to a certain direction, and then you make sure consultation is a major issue in what you do. So the finances of artists that you ask, monies would come from bookings. That is, people that would call to say, okay, hello, we want Nyanjo to perform here. How much are you charging? You give them your fee. They go to the bank and pay, or they come to the accountant and pay. Okay, like for example, the system that I ever have is whenever you need my artist, if you call me, I'll relate you to the bookings manager. Now, if you talk on business until you agree on something, the bookings manager would relate you to the bank, right? You know, you'll be given the account number that you pay there. They give you deposit slip. You come back, you know, we draw a receipt for you and give it to you. Now, the monies that are coming in, yes, we manage them by the understanding components of accounting too. I mean, the gross income, the net income, and all these things. You know, for example, whenever you organize shows and then payments come in, you have overheads. It's very obvious that you should go around what? The net income and gross income. So as a manager, you should be able to understand what these terms mean so that you'll be able to mitigate your commitments, right? Because most of the time, the commitments, right, are what the public wouldn't see or wouldn't know. That's where we have the overheads. So you must be able to understand the gross income and net income philosophy so that you can be able to mitigate and then manage the finances of your art as well. It's also obvious that you must pay the studio for certain recordings to take place. You know, no producer would record your artist for free. So the finances that are going right in recordings, right, audio and visual productions, all these things come from the operational cost budget, right, which you should be able to manage, because there is no way that you would rely on, right, I mean, outsource it so much as a manager. But then the money that is coming from the events that you organize, from bookings, try to manage it properly so that you can, you will not have any problem regarding your operational costs and so on,
So we have watched certain interviews, and then people were saying that the problem between you and so many artists in the country is because of financial issues. So you make clarity about it for our viewers to know what is the issue behind.
Nice. Good vibe. Still, I think these stories are based on the little understanding music enthusiasts half about management and administration. Now, let me give you the philosophy of humanity, right? I want to dilate on this.
Okay.
Now, the philosophy of humanity is telling you that every human being is an economic being, right? You are sitting right here because at the end of the day, you are expected to be paid.
Sure.
Now, if you don't have any salary, you will not be sitting down here. So, now the philosophy of humanity goes to tell everybody that in as much as we are human beings created by God, we are also economic beings. And that is why Abraham Maslow brought in the pyramid of needs, right? And then he worked on the motivational theory to say, look, if you want to maintain any human being at a particular workplace, that person must have his series of variables of needs being met. And that is where we have the physiological need, right? You know, the need for you to be sheltered, right? For you to have clothing and everything. The economic needs. So, now, as a knowledgeable manager who works with artists by virtue of contracts, right?
Yeah.
All these things are stipulated in the contract. To say, for example, if Jobz happens to bring an endorsement deal where you are being paid 1 million, and then there's a provision on the contract that said if you are being given 1 million, he should take half of it. You know, that is contract bonded, right? Or contract binding,
Yeah.
right? And that is why we are working by that. So there is no problem in Jobz taking $500,000 after the 1 million being brought, because it is a particular contract that binded you together. I want to
Okay.
please allow me to subside, right? Now the contract also says if Jobz should bring an endorsement deal to you, right, it is by virtue of his efforts. He should definitely take 40% and you take the rest. Now the contract also says if Jobz should invest, right, in you, it is very obvious that his share should be 40%. Now, somebody will tell you best practice is managers should take 10 or 15%. Somebody will tell you that is the best practice across the globe. But then, what kind of managers are they talking about? Are they talking about managers like Jobz? Probably no. Now, managers like this or that would invest in the business and also would traject you, right? Position you to be the most ambidextrous, right? You know, an indomitable product that nobody can dominate. You look at the input of Jobz. You look at the capacity of Jobz, right? You look at the polymatic reality of Jobz, right? What made him to be the most outside manager? And so your capacity as a manager, it comes along with cost, my sister. So you cannot be any other manager in the sector. So because you are so much pushing this as a manager, you must have divergent views, because some artists would not believe in what you believe in over time, right? I, quote, over time. That is to say, yes, you will be so much succumb today because we are starting and there's a particular job that I'm doing for you. Tomorrow, if so many millions come, we may have different views around those millions that have come in. So, right? If you put it properly on arithmetics, you will understand exactly what I meant.
Okay.
Yes. So this is why everybody keeps saying the same thing: monetary, 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 because you know your value as an artist manager, music business consultant, and in as much as you want to build somebody, project somebody, market somebody, you also want reward, right? After all. Yeah.
So what are you trying to say here is you have agreements between the artist and then yourself. So there is certain percentage of money that in the end of the day you will have your share and the artist will
So my dear, nobody works by virtue. Nobody works for gratis. No. Well, I don't know of other young managers, but even with other young managers, any business that you are coming to enter into, right, it's very obvious that there must be a contract paper. I mean, I don't think there is any little manager in this sector who would establish a work contract with an artist without a contract document. No, everything should be stated on your work document, because that is the document that binds you together. So there must be a document that will say, okay, I did a particular transaction. This is Jobz's share, right? This is his responsibilities. So all these things are indicated on a contract document, And this is a document that you would read and understand. Likewise, the artist that you are coming to work with.
Okay.
Yeah.
How do you handle contracts?
Do you mean contracts that are coming from outsiders?
Yeah.
Yeah, we manage contracts by virtue of contract management skills. You look into your interest first, which is important. You look into the income that is coming. You look into the protection clauses. You look into the benefactor reality, right? For example, if Africell should establish a contract with me, an endorsement deal contract, I will look into the benefactor reality. What is the benefactor reality? The reality of Africell coming to do everything that we are doing. For example, Jobz event. It's very obvious that his management would have established that benefactor reality to say, whenever Jobz have an event, you people have to be main sponsors, right? You will come in your larger capacity, projected in a way that people would know, okay, Africell is doing everything. So I manage my contracts by virtue of benefactor reality, that clause to say, okay, everything that we do, you would be responsible solely, because by then we would have been committed to your activities, your engagement and everything. So if we are projecting your business, we should also be seen very clearly. So that is the benefactor reality. The other thing is the interest aspect of things, still on contract management. What is going to be our interest in this particular contract over time?
Okay.
Right? Is it a contract that is going to make us more visible, that is going to bring in more money, that is going to take us to tour in Europe and America? You know, I look into that. Or is it a contract that is going to completely take my artist out of sight and dominion, right? So I look into all that. Yes, the income, which is so much linked with your interest, because in considering your interest, you will also consider the income that is coming. How much are they paying you, right? Is it a potential fee, right, or a sustainable fee? So we look into all these things. We look into the time frame also, right? I probably would say, yes, you people are pushing in 5 years, but I feel we cannot be in this dealership for 5 years because I feel it's too long. I want it to be 2 years. So all these things are considerable realities in contract management, in music business, right? Which is different with other businesses or other industries anyway. Yeah.
So what do you think is lacking in the Gambian music industry?
Well, partially we are grown. I always say this for the past 3 years. I've been stating the same thing, that partially we are grown, partially we are not. It's an industry where we depend on gate takings entirely. You know, tickets and tickets and tickets, right? Round and around, the market is saturated. Yes, we go to QCT, right? Pam, 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 they bring in the money. Next year, we are going there again. That's it. We are not extending the craft outside the Gambia, right? So yes, the pull force is right there. The music enthusiasts, they love our artists. They are going to shows. They've been filling the QCTs, the Benjamins, the stadiums, but then we have not been extending the craft. So partially we are grown as per the commitment of the music enthusiasts. The other part is endorsement deals are not plenty. Royalties are not being paid. In fact, that is the greatest income stream of any thespian, royalties, right? The monies that businesses will be paying for listening to our songs, the public, right, for using our songs, they should pay. That is royalties, right? The intellectual property reality of the business, right? IPR, you know, which is very, very important. The reason why today Michael Jackson remains the highest paid dead celebrity in the world is because of royalties. Michael is normal, but then he is still receiving millions of dollars as royalties to his family. That is because he registers his craft, you know, in a way anybody that uses it would pay him. Today, his Thriller album, which was in the late 80s, is still ranked as the biggest album of all time, right? That is because of intellectual property. So I think Gambia should look into that. Yes, the National Center for Arts and Culture is here. The Collecting Society of the Gambia has been established since in 2017, 2018, if I'm not missing the lines. But I feel the government of the Gambia should enforce, right, the Copyright Act of our thespians or of the industry, so that royalties will be paid, and then our income streams will not only be one, right? Because if you look at the population of the Gambia, it's very challenging, unlike Nigeria, Kenya, and other parts of the world. Today, the YouTube views of our artists, right, that is probably one village, the population of one village in Nigeria. 1 million people, right? That is the population of one village in Nigeria. So basically, our numbers, right? The population itself, right, is a challenge, and then that is a challenge that we cannot mitigate, right? Because we cannot forcefully make Gambia to be Nigeria. So the numbers are not helping. This is why we must have so many streams of income so that we can benefit at gross level. Otherwise, it's going to be a problem. The other thing is, the crafts that we are producing here, we are not extending or exposing them outside. Now, the Gambian artists, right, don't have a proper representation outside. We don't have any international artists in this country yet, right? Even though, even though most people would think going to perform in UK or America makes one to be an international superstar. No, it doesn't.
So how can one be an international superstar? For
one to be an international superstar, you must be able to craft it, you know, in a more international manner. Today, the Afrobeat is an international genre, yes, that made Davido and all other Nigerian thespians to be international artists. Yes, so you must play what is recommended at international market, right? And that will give you recognition. For example, Yusundur, he became an international artist in 1993 when he released the 7 Seconds featuring Nene Seri. Yeah, because that is folklore and pop. It's not Ndaga. So it wasn't Ndaga genre that made Yusundur to be an international artist, but folklore and pop. So you must play what is available in the market for you to be able to get there. Now today, we need to partner with consultants outside, right? You know, for us to have, you know, that partial aspect of, you know, in the growth dynamics, right? Because all these are reasons why we are not developed. Now, how do we leverage on them so that we can, yes, break records outside the Gambia? Yeah. So these are the things that are not happening. That's why I said partially our industry is grown, partially it is not grown. Yeah, sure.
Okay, viewers, as we come to the end of this program, so like I said, our guest artist today is Jobz, and then I am your host, Janky Kujabi. So please, if you haven't subscribed into our YouTube channel, please subscribe, like, and comment. And let us ask Jobz our last question. So what advice do you have for artists in the Gambia currently?
Yeah, the advice that I have for them is let them see the symbolism of red, white, blue, white, green, the Gambian flag. You know, the reality of the Gambia, not as in, you know, the tribal waves. Though we don't need that. Okay. We have to see the Gambia, and then yes, you know, as a people that are one, right, collectively. We also have to, you know, debar selective promotion, right? I don't want to see an industry where selective promotion is the case. I also would urge them to be so much faithful, right? And grateful to investors and businesses. They are putting in money, and all that they would like to hear from us, right, is to say, thank you for giving me this. Thank you for being there. So we have to be grateful to the investors in this sector and other Samaritans in the sector. I also want to urge the fans to understand the business, right? This is a working environment, right? No hate, no personal issues. Yeah, they must understand that we work under spotlight, and then it's an environment where there will be the hula baloos, the brouhahas. That is what we would always create so that the industry can be well followed. Right? So that is what I have for them. And I also want the corporate organizations to continue supporting us because we need their support. Okay. Yeah, that's right. Thank you very much.
And thank you very much, Jobz, for this wonderful interview. Okay, viewers, this is all we have for you. Do join us next week, Thursday, for an interesting discussion. Talk with our artist show. So please, like I said, do not forget to subscribe, like, and share our videos as well. So thank you.